Just us. Oh, look. It's me. Hey, guys. Can you hear me now? Maybe. Yes. Maybe. Let's hope and pray. What about now? Hopefully you can hear me now. Michael, are you there?
I am here, and the chat says they can hear you.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
But it's just a black screen.
But now,
There you go.
there we go.
After Effects away. We're back with Seth.
We're back with Seth. You know what I'm gonna do? I'll stay on here. When Hashi gets here, I'll try and get him on the screen too. So, like I said, I've got this. I'm not gonna be. I've got this universe camera shake applied here with the car mount preset as a starting point, with some motion blur keyframe to happen the second the tentacle hits the phone. Then I've got this fake autofocus effect happening, moving this focus null back and forth, as well as animating, keyframing a fast box blur effect on the plate. Now I need some more tentacles. So I'm gonna go into DAO and do like I did before, where I had the repeat paths. Go to the first repeater and hit 1. And now I've got several of these. I'm going to do some twisting. So I'm going to start, go back to where these guys kick off. I'm going to go to twist. And where do they hit? They hit right there. So I should stop twisting there. So, you know, for the time being, I'm going to turn off, because this is insane. I'm going to turn off my depth of field. I'll turn it back on later, and I'm going to turn off this shake up here. Daniel Hashimoto is the host now. So, let's see. Go back to my twist. Let's.
You guys can't see this on the stream, but Hashi popped back onto our Zoom thing, and then his thing froze again with just him exiting behind the green screen, so we just see a nice shot of the back of him.
It's him just running away. Oh, interesting thing is happening. So I'm twisting, but it's not twisting the repeaters. And I wonder why that is. Maybe I need to mix it up with some positioning. Maybe I'm just not twisting it hard enough. Switch. Nope. Weird. So I'm just going to twist it until something breaks. There's another Office reference for you folks. Boy, I'm sure glad we came back for this. Let's see. Michael, are you even there, or is it just me in the world now?
Well, I'm here.
Oh, thank God.
The stream is going, you're here, you got tentacles.
Okay. Just
We're hanging out.
you, me, and the tentacles, and Dupree. Keyframe assistant, easy ease. Let's see how this looks. Huzzah! Yeah, that's not bad. Let's take a depth of field on there to look good. And then I want a few extra coming slowly slithering. So first I'm going to go over here and do my normal stuff, my normals, my norms. Where is that? Meet normal. Drop that down here, turn it off. Turn on my norms.
They say they can't hear me.
Oh, that makes sense. Guys, it's because he's not real. Obviously, I am making up Michael. Hang on a second. Hey, Mike. No, he's gone. Oh my God. Michael? What is happening to our stream? Hey, talk for me, Michael.
Hello, my name is Michael.
And they can't hear him. Okay. Hang on. Talk now.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
That's so true. That's so true, Michael. And that's why you and I are here together. Oh, God, you're gone again. Okay. Hang on.
No, they don't need to see me. I'm not. We just need to see you finish up your shot, and then if Hashi's internet ever returns.
All right. Well, you're here with us in spirit. Let me end. Really, it's no time for me to get ambitious here, but I do want to just get the bare minimum of good. Let me set this meet normal, turn that meet normal up to, what did I say? It was like 460 something.
Hello.
Who's that? Hoshard?
Hello.
Weary Traveler returns. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn off my video because no one needs that because I don't think I can get your video. But oh, yeah, I can.
I don't need no one needs my video.
Well, then no one needs my video. Let me real quick, just us AE, turn on Hashi cam. Nope. Hold on. It's going to happen.
We can hear Hashi, so.
You're little. So let's go back
Welcome.
here. Make you.
We're on some craziness.
Boom. And boom.
Hi.
We did
What's up, all of my tens of friends? I'm so sorry. My high-speed wired internet just crapped out on everything.
God, it's
I'm gonna
insane.
blame Minecraft still.
Yeah, you should. They
Darn you, Mojang.
Specular 115 and shininess 11.
Hey.
Okay, that's some shiny tentacles. So let's just see how it's going to look if I turn my depth of field back on. And my little, let's see. That's fun, right? I probably need to do my curves.
Ooh, so gross.
Hashi, do me a favor. You just keep on talking so we know you're still there.
That sounds good. Yeah, real layers have curves. I love that.
That was almost our marketing
That was-
marketing tagline for lens distortion matcher. Real lenses have curves.
I thought that was a good one. But yeah, so it looks like you've gone a long way with multiplying out your tentacles there. You've got some cool highlights. The auto. Oh, how did you defocus yourself? I missed that.
Just some little fasty box blur on the on the
box
plate.
blur. Gorge.
Yeah. So like, here's a little look at all the keyframes I've got going on. Got my matched, some motions. You can tell these are where I did some motion tracking. Then I've got the manually
Very
keyframe
cool.
focus stuff here. So
Did we also never not even mention ET hanging out in the background during all of this?
yeah,
'Cause
just
I
standing
feel like that's-
idly by.
'Cause I
Not
feel like
helping
that's
anyone.
you would normally mention that ET was in the corner of that room, but I don't know.
I've become very used to him being here. I am desensitized to ET.
Makes sense. But
So I could call it right now, and we could just end our episode. I mean, ignoring the fact that the tentacles are not connected to my hand here. But one thing I do really want to do is add some... Well, it's 1:51. We should probably wrap up. I was going to add some extra tentacles slowly slithering effect. Let me just try it. Can I try it? Is that all right? I'm going to
try it. Try it. Yeah, I am going to... I was enjoying where I was going, everyone. And without making any promises online in a recorded setting, I would love to try to finish up what I was doing in a very short, like, show you all my layers kind of thing. So you all can see what was happening.
Here's what I'm going to do then. I'm going to find a way. You share your screen. It's going to break your visual here, but that's okay.
I do that. Can I share my screen?
Now they can hear you.
All right, everyone. So all that I've done is I've done a very janky beginner layer transition from one thing to the other. So that's just that rough and edges wipe, and also a very complicated feathered linear wipe to just eliminate me from the background there. But I have some weird ideas of some weird liquefy-ish things that maybe could exist in this universe. One effect that I would really like to try out, and I won't be able to make it look good, but there's the smear effect, which is I'd completely forgotten about, which I think is, maybe not the smear, CC smear. Is that what I'm thinking of?
Yeah, what would be the difference of smear and CC smear? Smear.
Okay, here we go. So CC smear, just like the stuff you're doing earlier, has a to and a from position. And something that I was thinking could be cool is like if I animated, some versions of like look at this.
Oh,
this
yeah.
This is scary as hell. And I don't entirely know what I'm going to do, but I think that if I have some instances of smear that jump up and down through this, I can get, look at that.
Yeah, that'll help a lot.
I think I can make some weird kinds of things. You're welcome to
watch this for the rest of the afternoon. 100%.
Yes. So I think that if my smear objects are both inside, this body horror stuff is so great. See, every individual frame is going to look great, but it's all about what will happen. Let's see. If the radius is down, yeah, look at this. Like you can do bigger or smaller. I think little thing strips like this big could be really cool. So let me see. If I want to be able to make an instance of smear that has like no stretching, so a reach of 0. Ugh. They can go negative. That's so cool. So I want it to reach up for a second and then back to 0. So I'll keyframe a little thing like that. So it's just little pops of skin stretching here. And then I can just go through and find a few points that look interesting to stitch together. Like right there, maybe my eyebrow, and then it starts to pull some of my eye flesh or something like this.
Naturally.
So I'll just do that. And then I think if I just take this and duplicate it and press U to reveal my keyframes, then I can just do things like slide another instance of this over, kill its to and from keyframes, but I'll put these ones somewhere else. Like I'll put these down by the mouth or something like that. It'll be grabbing the flesh above my mouth to start stretching.
That's actually the name of my my new book that I'm coming out with. I love grinding our sessions to a halt with my incredibly stupid joke. Like I literally stop the stream. It's worse than when your internet cuts out or my jokes. All right, keep going. I'm so sorry.
So yeah, so I'm just going to do some of this stuff, and I'm also going to try some interesting experiments where I see what happens if I pick like 3 frames from this and then have, let's see, like say I pick this frame where I'm still kind of human. I'm going to save that. And I'm going to call this
our sitcom.
Kind of Human, my default. Let's save this as, I don't know.
Hey, I have a weird idea, and I don't know if it's worth it. You tell me why it wouldn't work and why it might be bad. What if you took the layer of you and used it as a map for a color and alpha map for form, or particular? Actually, particular is what I would say. And had it basically, what if you created a distortion map with particular so that it would dissolve you in a way that went up this way? And actually you could use that as a displacement map for your face, and it would create some possibly organic natural smears to go into to mix up into all of this.
That's a really good idea. So because I could stretch me out in one direction and stretch Carnage, have Carnage be stretched and then snap back to reality.
Yeah, the way I would have approached this would basically be like a displacement map, and have you just distort one way, use that same map, and have him be distorted the other way, and then as you distort out, he undistorts in. Is how I would have approached it.
Why the heck didn't I just do that? That's phenomenal. Man, okay.
Because I think a good thing would be to use all the techniques kind of together to get the overall thing. Like I love the CC smear thing for extreme art directability on top of an overall effect or combination of overall effects.
Yeah, I was curious here. Let me pull this up if I'm still on screen. I have no idea what's
I think you are
happening, anyone. So I'm just going to take 3 frames and I'm going to see what would happen if, let's see. So I'm just taking these 3 frames, this frame here, this frame here, and this frame here. And I just want to see, out of sheer morbid curiosity, what, if I turn on the frame blending here, what the computer thinks should be happening in between any of these. So not good. But like Michael was saying, what could be interesting about some of these is that like the way my shirt does this weird, like folds into itself.
That's cool.
Become there is kind of neat.
Yeah, that part looks great.
The face is wonky. It's cool right here for just a second.
That's what they said when I was born. The doctor said.
So yeah, Michael, you have the right idea for the approach, which is just to do a whole bunch of different stuff and see what sticks. Because if I were here, I could easily start like feather laying in some of the cool wonkiness that I'm getting from one layer for like that part of my face, because it looks better than that. And just start combining all sorts of wonky things that can happen to me. So Seth, you're welcome to go back to yourself, because I don't know
to this meat tube that I've discovered here.
Meat tubes. I'm going to try to set up what Michael was talking about. I know we're practically out of time.
This is a meat tunnel, actually, is what it is.
Did we land inside one of the tentacles?
By accident, so I kept it here because I had to. But yes, if I move this tentacle over a bit, it's just suddenly we're maximum meat warp. I think I titled our episode. Actually, I'm gonna. What you're doing is way more interesting right now, Hashi. So while I finish this up, I'm actually going to send it back to you.
All right. So
that looks interesting.
Like Michael said, I'm just going back to these 3 layers. This one, this one, this one. I don't want this linear wipe there anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a copy of my layer here, and I'm going to add some fractal noise on top of it. Like this. I'm going to change it to maybe, let me see what overlay looks like. That's kind of cool. So I'll turn that to overlay. I'll turn up this fractal noise to something like that. So I've got like just this really weird pattern, but it's still also some of my brightness stuff is showing through. I'm going to keyframe the offset turbulence, just move the center point, maybe right to my nose or something. And then I'm going to keyframe that to just broadly as I'm moving, try to kind of have this stretching out a bit and sort of staying in the same spot. Okay, so now I've created this little thing. Not great, not a wonderful track or anything, but let me see what happens if I take my original layer and then add a, let's see, displacement map. And then I'll select my fractal noised version of Hashi with the effects and masks. And now watch this. Oh, that's weird. I wonder if I need to add comp myself over something so I continue. Okay, so what I think I need here, maybe I don't need the detail of my face there. So what if I just had this same fractal noise pattern here on this layer in a normal mode like that, and then had that? I realized that it's clipping at the edges because the displacement map ended there. So if instead, if I were using this one, now if I stretched them up and over, I get a cool like separation kind of thing like this. And now I could go to my fractal noise and try some things like I could rotate the whole shape a little bit, and then I could on uniform scale so I could stretch out the width. Now we're talking. So I'll rotate this pattern. Now it's a little bit confusing because what we're trying to do is I need to pick something that by its ratio is offsetting the original footage up and over in the same direction as the fractal noise is rotated. And let me see if I keyframed these from, 0 to there. If that's a cool, like a TV distortion pattern. See, I'm turning up the complexity. So yeah, I'm getting it's a little, digitally. One thing that might help on some of these things is to add something like a fake motion blur on top of them all and see what it thinks is happening. Could also try vector blur. I know that's a favorite of a lot of people. So if I keyframed the vector blur amount either up or maybe down, pinch everything together.
What might be cool is instead of putting the vector blur on, to change the map that it's using, and have the vector blur also use displacement map instead of using this layer.
Oh, that's a good call. Like, I mean, that's a creepy looking thing right there. Yeah. See, I should have started with this area. Oh, look at this.
Oh, that's looking so good.
Look at that wackiness. Okay. That's a wild shape. Now, if this were evolving the whole time, let me just add something like a time times 360 to the evolution. That would mean this is all constantly like evolving, right? So not great. But what's interesting about this is that it's the classic every frame looks neat and the animation looks
I hate that.
Looks janky.
Hate when that happens.
But I have a feeling that if this let me see if one of the built-in ones works. Like a pixel motion blur were on here, but turned up to an unrealistic level. Sometimes you can get this weird smoothing factor. Like if I turn down the vector detail, maybe get some simplifications. So, I mean, these weird things that are happening to this layer are pretty cool. And they could probably be more art directed to actually really work with the Carnage layer. Let me see what happens if I copy these two effects to my Carnage layer. Turn on Carnage here, and then I'm just going to reverse the displacement keyframes really quick just to see what this would look like, to see if this was a promising direction to have tried in the first place.
And you need to reverse the direction, the amount. It needs to be a negative amount.
Oh, yes, correct. Thank you. So let's pop in here with the Oh yeah, so that as these pieces that's interesting. So obviously I have not art directed any parts of this, but I just want to see what is happening together. Okay, so maybe what if Carnage were initially track matted to me?
It's a question I ask myself every day.
Or the transition could be, instead of being driven by a wipe, it could be a Lumimat transition.
Oh yeah.
The transitions all throughout rather than a wipe. And just drive it by that same fractal noise.
Oh yeah. So we could use what is it? A
gradient wipe.
There we go. So gradient wipe using oops. So initially it's all the way there, and then by the end is all the way here. I'll turn up the softness a bit. I know this looks like a bunch of gobbledygook, but what I'm trying to do here in super quick there, Michael, you're a genius. Look at that. I mean, I'm getting completely destroyed in the middle here, but look at that weirdness.
That's super weird.
Okay, I do believe that some artful version of this, like this part is so cool. Like that disappearing here, and maybe this without a track mat phasing in somehow. Does this make sense to anyone?
Yes.
Like between all of these ideas, if you did them over a longer period of time, you would be using some kind of fractal noise as a displacement map for my skin one way, for Carnage's skin, the inverted direction of that, while simultaneously using a linear wipe to bring in more and more of this flesh as I get stretched out. And I would say using masks and stuff would be a better way to bring in, well, actually, let me just go to my other comp and bring in this transition of Carnage and just throw him on top of everything. So if this weren't soloed, this is a somewhat artful transition that we tried to bring in him, where like the face is appearing a little bit more immediately. I forgot that I'd added position keyframes. Okay. And now it just looks like a morph. But man, I don't want to give up on this. I want to figure this out for you all. At least the lowest rent version of this that could be done. Obviously, the original is a way, way cool CG transition with physics and liquids and stretchy sims and stuff like that. And yeah, there are talented enough people here at Maxon that could do that, but not
Somebody
I.
just go to the bathroom? I heard a toilet flush. Is that just me?
We'll hope so. I don't know.
Oh, well, just wanted to call it before the commenters did.
Amazing. Well, I'm going to say like that's I think what I can do with the footage that I got, and I do appreciate
I think that gives several ideas of directions you could go, and you would layer them together like
Yes.
that CC smear on top of this to add art directable stuff. Like you'd want your eyes to kind of at least partly go to where his eyes are, and your mouth to go partly where his mouth is, and you could use a smear to make that happen, or liquefy to make that happen in a very art directable way.
Yes.
Then you'd have that more fractally driven stuff kind of as the background to make the whole thing work. So you have art directable pieces, fractal computer generated pieces, and all coming together to make the overall effect. If you had, more than 5 minutes to do it after the stream came back on.
But it's wild. Well, thank you everyone so much for sticking with us through this absurd process.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, it was. I feel like this was a lot of fun, minus technical difficulties, just to see what kinds of things could happen. But yeah, a lot of really cool tricks using DAO to create some tentacles. That is a really wild effect, Seth. And
here's where I got it. It's
so cool.
If we're right now, the extra tentacles are slowly coming around and latching onto the camera. I don't have another shake for right there. I should, but it's about to catch this, and then should play the whole thing. We can see how it looks.
Wow. I mean, that is an incredibly lightweight version of highly customizable Carnage tentacles. That's so cool. Like knowing that like 2 nulls is giving you
it's
so
a
much.
little janky toward the end. I'd have to clean it up a little bit, but that's essentially the idea. But yeah, pretty crazy. We made some tentacles out of meat. We made some Woody Harrelson out of Hashi. We made lemonade out of lemons, and a part 2 out of a part 4.
Hey, and yeah, between all that, these could all be little tricks that we try in the event that we try to make a Venom short happen between now and the next little bit.
Oh,
but
speaking of, I think it's important, very important, that you vamp for just a second, Hosh. That's what's really, really important right now. It's really important that you vamp for a second. So talk about something. Talk about anything.
Hashi, that's voguing you're doing?
Oh, I'm voguing. Oh, vamp. About what? Like what's on the channel? What's going on? Check out all the exciting content here on the Red Giant channel, because there's some really cool tutorials coming out soon. If you haven't seen me singing and making a fool of myself, you can check out the latest
you mispronounced star, making a star of yourself.
Making a star. My entrance into the music field with a tutorial and song on how to pencil sketchify yourself, which is really exciting. And yeah, all sorts of other fun stuff coming down the pike, especially from our 3D folks are putting out a ton of new content shortly. And I'm going to try to make a promise to be able to render stuff in cinema by the end of this year. I think that if I can do it using probably just the tutorials on our channel, you all can too.
100%. 100% you can. I just think, where the heck is it? I think we should be able to easily watch.
Oh boy. if you've stuck around with us
for this long,
then you're in for a treat.
Ideally.
So
here we are. Here is.
Hey, I know that guy.
So allow me to play this real quick. This is just a very quick glimpse of, because of, Chekhov's gun joke, we have to show my favorite joke in this video that has yet to be released. Is that okay, Ash?
Yes, this is the context is that this is a short about what it would be like to be roommates with Venom, which turned out to be, though we made this 2 years ago, the joke was that it would be horrible to be roommates with Venom and all the stuff that you would have to deal with. And then that is exactly what the initial teaser for the second Venom was.
Yeah.
Almost some of the exact same shots and gags. So
Yep.
very, very exciting to know
But they didn't have this joke. That's the joke. It's so dumb. But when I saw you on set, you're like, so I'm thinking it's like this, and you held up the shirt, and then you went and then you slowly slipped it away to reveal the gun that none of us knew you had in your hand. So funny. Oh my gosh.
Man. Just the unfolding series of shenanigans being Venom's roommate.
That you would pick up a shirt and not know you also picked up a gun is also just really, really great. Oh man. That was such a tiny little apartment we were all crammed into, and it was like a full crew, and we had to turn the AC off because of sound, and it was maybe the hottest day of the year so far in Los Angeles or in the Valley.
It was a wild, it felt like all day from multiple locations trying to get from one place to the other. It was wild, but a lot of people worked really hard, so I do hope that this comes together.
It will, in pieces, slowly over the course of VFX and Chill episodes.
We'll release 3 shots per VFX and Chill episode
with Seth talking over
7 years.
Man, thank you everybody for coming,
Amazing.
For watching. Hashi, thank you for working out the internet issues. Michael, great Michael in the sky, thank you for everything. I don't know where you are in my OBS thing right now, so I'm just gonna wish you goodbye and good luck, and we will.
I enjoyed the meat tubes.
Yes, the meat tubes. We come for the VFX, stay for the meat tubes. Good night, everybody.